each of our panelists that are here. Jen, maybe you can get us started. For students completing high school or secondary school, regardless of where they are in the world, what's a piece of advice you would give them that would help when moving towards their post-secondary studies?
Yeah, I think that's a great question to start off. Um, I think what I would recommend is to not be afraid of like trying out new courses and subjects that you might not have been familiar with in high school. I know that sometimes that like within like high school curriculum, you don't always have like as many choices within a very broad amount of programs to work with. To meet graduation requirements, of course. So I really like to say that explore those options, especially early on in your program when you have a lot more wiggle room. All those electives that you can get in, do them earlier so that you can get a feel for what's out there. And you can kind of maybe find something that you weren't expecting to find. I mean, I always thought that I was going to go in one direction with a minor in French. Turns out not what I was into at all. And it turns out that I should have tried gender studies courses earlier. And I actually really, really liked folklore, and those two things would have been never on my radar at any point. And it kind of has shaped my whole academic career. Were two courses that I don't want to say mistakenly took, but took on a whim and just needed to fill credit slots, and was like, oh, these are actually like really awesome, and I would love to study these things more. And again, I would not have had that opportunity had I not been open to just trying something new and making something fit. But then it turns out that I very much liked them and wanted to continue doing more courses in those areas, even if I didn't necessarily major in folklore or anything. I did take almost all of my electives in French and then folklore, whereas I still ended up majoring in English and gender studies instead. So sometimes you have to be open to the new adventure, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out of your comfort zone and try
Yeah.
something new for sure. Mahar, do you have any advice for students who are looking at post-secondary studies and making that transition?
Yes, as Jen mentioned, when I was doing my recruitment in Ontario, when I asked a lot of students, what major do you want to study? And they said, I don't know. And I told them, I don't know. It's a perfect answer also, because we have around maybe around 200 or maybe less, if, I might be mistaken, that we have undecided students that come to us and they have the choice, as Jan said, to take any new course or any course they might be interested and they might change their mind because we also have at the Career Center a workshop called Design Your Life, which will help you in navigate your job in your careers or what courses you want to take or what career you want to take. It's a 6 week program that helps students who are undecided in terms of what they want to accomplish. And as you know, Jennifer, students can take as many courses as they like. I believe it's 60 credits till they make a decision where they want to end up in their academic as a major. So you have an option. For me personally, I took an elective way back in Lebanon when I was studying HR course. And I really enjoyed the HR course, and that's how my master's was in HR, and that's why I ended up in recruitment because I never thought I would be there. I thought it would be marketing or advertising, but again, there was a lot of opportunities for me to take, and I really enjoyed it because, again, at age 18 or maybe 17, you don't know what you want. Some they know, which is very great. They want to be engineers, they want to be psychology or nursing. That is great, but there are still some students they don't know what they want. The university can offer you an opportunities to take some courses they might be interested, and with the workshop of Design Your Life will help you navigate that. So I encourage students to take advantage of that workshop. And again, we have academic advisors that can also help you navigate in your academic journey if you are undecided.
Awesome. Lots of people to help along the way. Sacher, what about from your perspective? Any advice you'd want to pass on?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think thank you, Meher and Jen, to share your points there. Those are very important points. And I'd just like to add one piece of advice from my end is to encourage students to start learning about time management. Unlike high school, post-secondary education, oftentimes requires a more significant amount of self-study outside of the class hours. However, it's equally as important to develop good management skills to balance your university coursework, extracurricular activities, and your personal life. If you spend too little time for yourself, you are more likely to experience burnout. So that's why I would recommend for students to be active around campus, look for initiatives to volunteer or work. That way, this will help you grow personally and at the same time connect with your fellow peers on campus as well.
Yeah, awesome. Satya, maybe we'll start with you then for the second question. What do you see as one of the biggest myths that students have prior to entering post-secondary education?
Yeah, great question there, Jennifer. For myself, one myth that I would like to mention, which I often hear as well when I'm on the road, is your major determines your career, which I would have to agree. But at the same time, while it's true that your field of study and at the university can influence your career path, it's not the only factor. Many graduates end up working in the fields that are unrelated to their major. So I believe what plays a major role in addition to what you study at the university are the skills and experience you gain during your 4-year studies. So connecting to my previous point, so try to get involved, try to be active. And I think that through those experiences, you'll be able to determine or explore various career path or even job experiences that you might want to get into.
Yeah, oh, great. Jen, what about you? Do you have a myth that you hear over and over when you're talking with students that you'd like to kind of give a little insight into?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks feel like they have to know every single thing before starting out. That really it should be like a base level of knowledge, basically. But we're all coming from different walks of life and don't always have the same foundational knowledge about what the next steps are or what the next potential thing could be. So I think that um, I one like that as a myth that I would like to bust and be like, hey, um, there is somebody here for you to help you through the process, and that we don't assume that you know everything, and we're really happy to be as granular as you need us to be, and that's what we're here for. Like that's literally what our jobs are. We're like professional question answerers. We're kind of like a knowledge bank that you get to access. And if we don't happen to have that information, we know somebody who does. We have lots of great connections right across campus, and we can always summon somebody who has our answer. So even if we have to say like, hey, we don't actually know that right off our heads right now, we'll find you the answer. Well, somebody out there knows, and we'll find it for you. So we can't really help you that way unless you ask. So we are, as long as you're looking for us and asking us questions, we can get you those answers, because we do know that you don't know every single answer, and that's totally cool. And we're pretty friendly, I would say. So we're not going to judge you for asking any kind of questions. There's no stupid question here. We're just, friendly, happy people looking to give you a hand.
Absolutely. And for those that aren't already connected with a undergraduate recruitment officer, before we move on to Mahar, I would like to say that by registering for this event, you'll actually be put in contact. So you'll be added into our communication plan. You'll be put in contact with a student recruitment officer. And like Jen said, we are here to answer your questions at any point in time. So happy to do so, including at this event. So please get them ready. Mahar, what about you? Have you heard a myth over and over and that you'd like to let students know that, the reality is actually quite different?
Yeah, I would echo the idea that you don't have to know everything from day one. And then if you're ending up choosing one major, that's not the end of the world, and it's not the end of your career, because as we all know lately is that by the time students graduate in 3 years or 4 years, there will be new things happening up in terms of technology, or maybe new markets are opening up, and we always have to reinvent ourselves, maybe take a new course or a new certificate. So with whatever you choose now will not determine your whole life career. As you can see, we've all been diverse from different backgrounds. We added up our education. It's not just one time. And again, sometimes I also hear a lot of students, or a lot of students when I was advising, is that they were doing an undergrad something different, but they changed and they took a course, and now they're doing a master's in totally different environment, which makes totally sense these days. And again, there's other options as certificates are open up. There's a lot of online courses that you can also take. It all depends what you like. And we are here to help, as Jen said. If you don't have an answer, we'll try to find you an answer. But again, ask the question, and there's no stupid questions to ask.
Absolutely not. Okay, so we have a few more minutes left for the panel before we'll move into our admission sessions that are going to start in 5 minutes or so. What about things that you feel that Memorial University has to offer that might be unique to some of the students that are trying to decide on their their post-secondary institution right now? Mahar, do you want to get us started on that question?
Sure. I would say we are a small community feeling university. Everyone knows everyone. Some classes might be maybe between 60 or 80 students, but as we go more into specific major, it might be very small. I also feel that we help students from day one. Like even if for registering, we have these sessions, we're helping them. And then we have our student experience office that helps them with midterm matters. They do a lot of events. We also have our career centers that help students in terms of finding jobs. We also have on-campus jobs. So I have a feeling that we help students in a bubble. We take care of them like a family from day one till they graduate. And even after graduation, we also can help them with the alumni, with networking. If there's anything happening, we invite them. I feel that Eastern Atlantic Canada Eastern feeling that we have, and Memorial is very great place to come, and St. John is also a great place to have that experience and enjoy.
Awesome, great. Satria, what about you? Some things that you feel Memorial has to offer that are unique?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just as was once an international student, I think our unique geographical locations offer students the opportunity to live and study in a culturally rich coastal environment. Some of the programs that we offer here at the university are also one of a kind. For example, we offer an ocean and naval architectural engineering co-op program, which is the only one of its kind in the world. So as a student, I think you should really truly embrace what the university has to offer for your own university career, but at the same time for your own professional development.
Awesome. Anything you'd like to add, Jen? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I would say from my perspective, I would say that one thing that really stood out to me when coming to Memorial myself was that St. John's specifically, which is the campus I would have attended, had the city amenities, but the campus culture being more like community oriented and like small town personality. Even just St. John's as a whole, I feel like we still kind of live into a like a small town personality. And being from a smaller-ish town myself, I was definitely looking for some place that felt quite homey, but had the opportunities to do things that I would never have been able to do otherwise. As well as oceans. We have lots of ocean being on an island. I'm sure there are other universities on islands right across the world surely. But I could not see myself in a place that wasn't near the ocean. So that really did quickly eliminate some choices there for me. But if you're somebody who likes the ocean, likes being near nature, water, and having a like a small town caring culture, I think I think that's what we've got going on.
Awesome. I love that you guys are all praising my hometown, St. John's. Having grown up here, Memorial's always been sort of a part of my life. Growing up so close to the university and in the community where the St. John's campus is. I think with unique opportunities, one of the things that I hear from students over and over again is, we are big enough to have everything you need, and have the programs and the options that are available and the ways that you want to choose to go through your programs, but small enough that undergraduate students actually get to be involved hands-on, in that there's many, many students that are involved in research, involved in, say, the Students' Union, our radio station, our newspaper. I mean, there's opportunities that are there, and students just need to start learning. Like everybody that's here right now has already jumped on that wagon to start learning about their future, which is so great to be so proactive doing that, and just to keep doing that once you're here as well. There's so many great things that the university offers, and I think one of the unique things is that accessibility and that ability to get on a design team in the engineering department, or talk to a professor about research. And then, the next semester, maybe you're working in their research lab, and all of that is available at an undergraduate level as well. So lots and lots to talk about, but we are going to move on to looking at the next part of this session. So we have to say goodbye to Jen and Satria, who will be moving into other rooms. Next, we have our admissions panel. I'm going to pop in the chat for everybody there. What's going to be held in each room. So for those that are applying from Newfoundland and Labrador, those applicants, you stay here with myself and Mahar in this room, in room 1. Room 2 will be for Canadian applicants, and you'll see Jen there, along with an admissions officer. And in room 3, we'll have Satria and an admissions officer talking about information for our international applicants. So again, you can use the link to go back to the landing page and then choose the room that will be most appropriate for the information that you're seeking at this point in time. And then join us after those academic admissions sessions. We'll also be holding the sessions about our Marine Institute, our Granville campus, and our Labrador campus as well, right after that. So I'll give everybody a moment to change around and move rooms, and I'm going to be back as your moderator in just a minute for the next session. Hi, everyone. I just want to make sure that everyone is in the room, that they're going to be looking to get information about those that are applying from Newfoundland and Labrador. So this session, we have a representative from the admissions office as well as the student recruitment office. We'll provide an overview of a brief presentation and then have the ability for everyone to ask questions. I will give it just one more minute in case there's others that are looking to join this room before we get started. But for those that are here, you will be able to ask questions by either commenting in the chat or by using the Q&A feature that's available for students just by clicking the small icon at the lower right-hand corner of the platform, and you'll open a little box that says Q&A. I'll be monitoring that, so any questions that come in through there will be forwarded on to the panelists. So this room is for those applicants from Newfoundland and Labrador. If you are in the wrong room or someone that's applying from another province in Canada or from outside outside of Canada, any of our international applicants, you can just use the link that's provided there. I'll pop it up again just to make sure, and you can then go out to the landing page and actually enter the room that you may want to attend. But for this room, we will get things started with our panelists. So we have Jennifer Williams joining us, as well as Mahar Madoyan will be back with us. Hello, Mahar. And I'll be your moderator for today. If you weren't here earlier for the welcome, my name is Jennifer White. I work with the undergraduate student recruitment office here on the St. John's campus. And over the next 3 nights, we're going to be doing a variety of sessions. Tonight, we're reserving for application sessions, our applicant sessions, as well as our 3 other campuses. But then Wednesday and Thursday night will be presentations from a wide variety, all of our undergraduate academic programs. And then we also have two specific sessions for those that are undecided and want to do a little bit more exploring. On Thursday night, there'll be a session for you if you have yet to decide on your academic program. And then on Wednesday will be a session to really help with transitioning to university studies. And don't worry if 2 sessions are happening at the same time. We are recording these sessions and they will be available to view back within a week or so after this event is over, so that you can catch up on anything you may have missed earlier. Thank you. So just as a little bit of housekeeping, obviously the attendees, your mics are muted, your videos are off, and you will be able to see our panelists throughout this event and anything that is presented. And if you have a question, again, please just use the Q&A in the lower corner, and I will be able to see those questions and make sure that our panelists are asked those questions during this session. This focus is on for Newfoundland applicants. And if we don't get to your question, or if the question is not specific to this session, I'll direct you either to another session or how to get your questions answered. So I'd like to begin this session by introducing the representatives from the registrar's office we have with us from the St. John's campus. We have Jennifer Williams from the admissions office and Mahar Madoyan from the undergraduate student recruitment office. Jennifer, do you want to start us off by introducing yourself and your role within the admissions office?
Sure, Jennifer. I'm the assistant registrar in charge of Newfoundland applications from high school applicants. I've been with the registrar's office for 7 years, I think. So I should be able to answer a wide variety of questions that you may have.
Thank you. Mahar, can you introduce yourself as well and your role at the university?
For sure. My name is Meher Mardoyan. I'm a domestic recruiter. I started with the recruitment office as of September. I cover Western Newfoundland, PI and Ontario. And if you have any more questions, please ask us and we'll try to answer it for you.
Excellent. So Mahar, do you have the presentation ready to go? Do you have the ability to share the presentation?
I will do that in 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. There is some questions coming in. I love that. So any questions that come in, we'll be sure to get to them. But in the moment that Mahar is just sharing the start of the presentation, there was a question that was there regarding tuition costs. And I would encourage you to explore the undergraduate programs and admissions page for information on tuition costs, the variety of program options that we have available, as well as advice for moving through the application process itself. But we won't be covering tuition costs specifically in this session.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I'm having technical to open the it's opening up. Okay. Technology sometimes can be a little bit, especially connection wise. So just bear with me, guys.
Okay.
It's just
share it.
rotating.
Okay, I can share it from my end if you want, and go through the slides for you.
Sure.
Okay, 1 second.
It was working 1 minute ago. Now it's not working.
That's okay.
All right, here we are. So as Jennifer mentioned, this presentation will be for the undergraduate students here in Newfoundland. We can go to the next slide.
Yeah.
And as Jennifer mentioned, we're in Newfoundland, St. John's. I'm sure you all know where we are. And this is just to give you guys a glimpse of numbers. And so in St. John's, I mean, in Memorial University, we have 6 campuses. We have more than 300 plus programs that are optional for students. We have around 20,000 students who are at Memorial University in all campuses combined. And to give you a ratio in terms of student faculty, so 16 students will have one faculty member, which is very good. It gives the feeling of a small community classes and not big as other universities. We have 25% of our students are from international, and 63% are from Newfoundland and Labrador. And we have 12% who are outside of Newfoundland and Labrador. And we also have one of the 2 universities that a lot of students can study at Harlow, which is in the UK. And we also have students more than 115 plus countries outside Newfoundland, which makes us very diverse and very unique university where you can meet people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and engage in a diverse and inclusive workplace and academic place to study. Next slide. So as you can see, for the Granville campus, We have more than 17 plus programs that we are offering. Again, more information is on our website. Again, this is just a glimpse of what we are offering. Student population is around 1,300 students, and we are more than happy if you guys can follow us on our socials, Facebook and Instagram, and check our website. It kind of gives you a glimpse of the life at the university, because we're not just academic, we also have other events that's happening at the university in terms of the student experience office, in terms of careers, because this month here in St. John's campus is a career month, and every day there's an event that's happening. So we encourage our students to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and sometimes even on LinkedIn for the academic unit, because a lot of events are also published there in terms of connection and meeting employers. For our Marine Institute, we have 20 plus programs, and our student population is again around 1,200 students. And again, it's very great to follow us also on socials. And here in St. John's, we also have a great campus with so many buildings. And a lot of times when I'm speaking with students is I tell them in winter times, we have underground tunnels. So the tunnels will help us navigate from one building to another building. So you don't have to go out. It feels that you're inside and have that feeling. And as you can see on our left side, we have our new science buildings, and we have our famous whale. And you can check more about our whale on our website and why the importance of it. But again, as you can see, all buildings are connected, and even the residency are connected in with the tunnels. Next slide. So areas of study. So let's start with general admission. So this means that you can directly apply while you're finishing your high schools to these three majors. So in business, humanities and social sciences, and science. So you can apply directly from high school to university. In September of next year, you can be here in our campuses. But we also have some competitive admissions, which are nursing, engineering, human kinetics and recreation, and music. What means that competitive admission? It means that the sooner you apply, the better. And some of them have deadlines, which will be in January. But general admission, usually the deadline is in March, which means that you have more time if you have missing any documents. But the competitive one, if you're interested in nursing or engineering, we highly encourage to apply, because applications are open as of October 15, and we are getting a lot of applications. So if you want to be part of the Memorial University campus, please apply the sooner. And if you have any more questions from that, please ask them. Next slide. So general admission, as I said, in terms of the business, we have so many options. We have regular business commerce, or we have the co-op. Co-op, it means that you'll be sent to do internship in some companies, and a lot of times our employers are hiring our co-op students because they know the value that they are bringing, which is very great. And we also have joint programs in the business of commerce and the arts, which is Bachelor of Commerce and Music, because a lot of times we feel that sometimes people like music, but they also like the business part of the music. So this is a great combination in the terms of the business. In humanities and social sciences, we have Bachelor of Arts, International Bachelor of Arts, which means that you will also be able to go outside St. John's and take some courses there. And they also have a joint program between Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Arts and Commerce. And we also have a lot of certificates and diploma. Again, guys, this is just a glimpse what we are offering. More details are on our website. And if you have any specific questions in this regard, please don't hesitate to ask. And in the science program, we have Bachelor of Science. And again, there's a joint program between Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts. Next slide, please. Again, So we covered the first part, which is the general admission. So now let's go into the competitive admission, which is also a direct entry, but it's very competitive. So nursing, Bachelor of Nursing in Science. So some good news in the nursing program is they removed the Casper test. So no more Casper test. It's purely based on your grades. The higher the grades, the better. And the deadline for the nursing, I believe, is in January, right, Jennifer?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So in terms of in the engineering, again, the first year of engineering is we call, I believe, is engineering foundation or engineering one. And then after that, you can go specifically where you want to go, either in civil engineering, computer, electrical, mechanical, ocean and naval architecture. That's getting a lot of trends these days, and process engineering and mechatronics. So again, engineering is very competitive. The higher the grades, the better. And they have also deadlines earlier than March. And then, again, human kinetics and recreation. Again, I would say this is also another trending major. When I was visiting in Western Newfoundland, even in PI, a lot of students were asking about this. And there's an option of a co-op in this program, which is very great to have that experience from maybe faculty members and from outside, so that you can know really how you can implement what are you studying in real life. And finally, one of our competitive admission is music. And I believe we have 40 seats, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the music program. Again, there will be an audition that you need to do, you need to submit. And again, as we spoke earlier, there's also a joint program between the music and the Faculty of Business. And again, it's very competitive. The sooner they apply, the better. Is there any question, Jennifer, so far that we might answer, or we should continue?
The courses are probably better suited to after the presentation so far, but
Okay.
we have been getting some questions. So that's a great reminder for anybody that's here. Please submit your questions through the Q&A or the chat, and we'll make sure we'll get to those.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's continue with the presentation then. And again, another area of competitive admission is our education program. Again, it's getting a lot of requests from a lot of students. So you can do primary, elementary, or post-secondary, and intermediate or secondary, music education and special education. Again, the sooner you guys apply for this education program, the better will be, because it's a competitive admission. It means that they have limited seats for each individuals. So it's a great program, and a lot of times students are getting hired by our high schools or even other areas. Social work, you can do both. So it can be as a first degree or a second degree. Second degree means you have already done another degree, but you want to do social work as a second degree. And for social work, if you're doing it as a first degree, you need to have 60 hours of volunteer work, which you need to do it either before applying or during your first year of doing your social work. And I believe in the second degree, if you're doing, you need to do 300 hours of volunteer work before applying to the secondary degree. Pharmacies and other areas, which is a very competitive admission, and medicine postgraduate program. A lot of times these days, a lot of students are doing human bioscience, and then they are going to the medicine program, which is also getting a lot of attraction from students. Next slide. All right, undergrad admissions. Here we go. So if you are in Newfoundland, overall, you need to have 70% as an average in the following senior level high school subject areas. So English, mathematics, a lab science course, social science or modern classical languages, and an elective. So you need to have a cumulative of 70 and above to apply to our undergrad studies here in our Memorial University and all other campuses, and you will be accepted. Some programs have additional admissions or application requirements beyond those listed here. Again, you can visit our website, and also you can visit our grant field if you're interested to apply to our grant field not of Granville campus, which is in Corner Brook. They might have, because Corner Brook Granville campus is more focused into the arts production or on stage, so they might have different admission requirements. So if you are interested in those, please check the website for more details. But overall, you need 70 and above on those subjects that's mentioned here. So after that, so you can also book a campus tour. We got a lot of students. Sometimes they come with their parents, sometimes they come alone, that you can book a tour and to see where are you studying, either here in St. John's or other campuses. You can book a tour, and we're more than happy to show you around how is your life going to be here, some of our buildings, some of the residency areas, and of course our new science building.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mahar. Just the next couple of slides will just show from our website exactly how to get to the application. So you can see once you enter the undergraduate admissions and programs page, you just click through to admissions, and it will take you to the apply section. So I want to apply. All the information is listed there. By scrolling down, you'll actually find a general admission requirements based on your high school requirements. So as Mahar has just gone through those mission requirements, you can see we would list them based on those coming from high school. Now, some that are in attendance this evening may be coming from transfer students from university or college. And again, you would just click the category that would apply best for you. But since we know that many of the attendees tonight are direct from high school, that would take you to this listing. For the general admission requirements, that's more course specific, or if you're coming from an IB program, an international baccalaureate program, this is where you would go to see that information. Just to finish off, we do like to really point out that entrance scholarships, domestic students, based on your incoming grades, will receive a scholarship. You don't have to indicate that you're interested in being considered for a scholarship. These are automatically determined upon application. And you can learn more about other named scholarships that are available for all students, but we also encourage students to learn more about scholarships that are available through your school, your community, and go online and do some research if you feel that you're eligible for scholarships, because there is a lot of funding that's out there students can take advantage of. Obviously, there's still time to apply. The application has been opened since mid-October, will remain open until very close to the beginning, or actually, even the first day of classes. But when applying for the first time, you do need to adhere to these deadline dates. So as Mahar had mentioned, the Bachelor of Music and Nursing, their deadline dates are in January. February is our fine arts program at the Grenfell campus, but March 1st is a fairly strict deadline for both engineering and human kinetics and recreation. It is a priority deadline for our non-competitive programs that Mahar has just gone through, both our Bachelor of Arts, the International Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, or moving into the Faculty Business and starting with Business 1. Again, apply at mun.ca has a lot of the information there. This is just meant to be a brief overview in order to just sort of get us started. So I'm going to stop this presentation now so we can get to some of the questions that are there and some of the information that you might be looking to get about the actual application process itself. So one of the questions that's come in is possibly, Jennifer, you can help us with this question, is what if their grades coming from their high school program are not enough to meet the admission requirements? Is there options for those students, or what are the options for those students?
Okay, there are options. There's upgrading options that can be done, as well as I believe CNA has a transfer program. So at CNA, you can do the CAS transition, and that is for applicants who are slightly below the 70 overall average, and they can upgrade their courses that way. Completing the CAS transition program fills in the mission requirement. We would need both the high school transcript and the CNA transcript for evaluation. The CAS transfer program is for those who meet the requirements, but can also be a pathway in for those who don't want to travel just yet for St. John's or Grenfell. So that one doesn't really apply. I do apologize. We do have upgrading available in Newfoundland at places that offer ABE, that's Adult Basic Education. So Academy Canada, the Discovery Center, and I believe the Murphy Center are the three that we usually see coming in for upgrading options.
Okay. And just to clarify, because I did see another question, is that the courses that we listed for admission requirements, that's an overall average. It's not a minimum requirement for each particular subject area. And if you have, say, 2 science courses that I know, Jennifer, you see this all the time, where students have more than one science course completed at a 3000 level, the admissions automatically looks at the highest of those grades in order to calculate your admission average.
That's correct. And we also do the same for the social sciences. We do choose the higher grade of them.
Excellent. So another question that's come in then is what happens if a student doesn't get into the competitive entry program? So they've applied to a competitive entry program, maybe they don't meet the cutoff for that year. What will they still be accepted to Memorial?
For all the competitive entry applications that we receive from high school applicants, we, as a service to the applicants, create a general admission application to go with it. This increases the chances of getting into Memorial to find out what we offer and explore courses that we have available here, even to strengthen applications for later applying to competitive entry programs. That's a route that a lot of people take, where the competitive entry programs have a limited number of seats and are highly competitive. Unfortunately, not everybody that applies gets in, but this is not any way discouraging um, in what you want to do. We do encourage you to continue on with your MUN application, even come for general studies, find out what our campus has to offer. Maybe you'll find other electives that will strengthen your application for what the decision committee into the faculty programs may be looking for. So anybody applying for a faculty program will receive 2 letters. First, the general admission letter, and then a faculty letter. So do keep looking in your inbox. If you receive one letter, keep looking for that second one as well.
I guess that kind of leads then to another question is when do they hear back? So if they've applied to a non-competitive program or a competitive program, when would they expect to hear back?
We try to make the decisions as quickly as possible. So shortly after the application is ready to be reviewed, usually it's within 10 business days, the decision is made and sent out. If you don't receive an email, letter, or communication from our office within those 10 days, I encourage you to reach out. Um, Sometimes with our email addresses, our messages to students are diverted from the inbox, and we may be trying to communicate with you and you may be missing the message. So if you don't hear from us, it is absolutely fine for you to reach out to us and see if there's an update on your application, and we will certainly look into that in a timely manner and provide you with as much information as we can. Um, Faculty decisions are a little more complex because they are made at decision committees within the competitive academic units. So those decision letters are released sometime after the general admission decision is made. Timelines on when those committees gather to make decisions is not generally known by the admissions office, but we can certainly help you find that information within the committee and put you in contact with the people that you need to speak to so you can get more information on when to expect a decision.
Okay. And Mahar, maybe you can answer this question then about students that are coming in that sort of haven't got decisions made. I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier. How do they move through the application process?
I believe as long as you know if you want to be some, because when I was on the road, a lot of students they said, I don't know what I want, but I want something in science. And as you can sense, science is a general admission, or something in art, so it's a general admission. So you can apply there, general admission, have the 70 cumulative grades and apply. And then you, as Jennifer, two Jennifers after, as Jennifer Williams said, you will get accepted within 10 days. And then after that, as we discussed in the previous videos, you will take some courses. We also have academic advisors that they can help you determine where you want to go. If you want to be specifically in science or in bioscience or in art, if you want to go other areas. So you can apply, still apply. You have the academic advisors there to help you select some courses, and then maybe you can be specific what major you want to do.
Awesome. So sort of as a related topic, there was a question about majors and minors and when do those get declared? And just to talk very briefly about that, I know with if you're applying into humanities and social sciences, you can declare your major on the application. If you're applying into a Bachelor of Science program, you actually would come in as a science student and you can't declare your major on the application. That's done after your first 10 courses. Typically, students would be doing 5 courses per semester. So sometime in your second semester, you can submit a form to the department to be declared as a major within that program. So there is some time to decide, and changing if you submit something on the application, and then once you do some courses, and then you change your mind, that's something, again, like Mahar just said, get some really good academic advice, talk to an academic advisor, but that's something that's possible as well, is to change even during your first year.
Yeah.
Jen, this is an interesting question, actually, because I have had it before, but for students that apply to 2 different competitive entry programs, when do they actually have to decide about which of these programs they're going to go in? And I often hear this with students possibly that are looking at, say, human kinetics and recreation and nursing. They've been accepted to both. They're still trying to make up their mind. So when would they need to decide?
Well, in a first instance, I would highly recommend looking at the offer letter and reading it very carefully. Sometimes faculty programs have deadlines that they want to know if you're attending by. Um, Mostly that is in the case that they can move to people in the wait list. So if you have a deadline to make the decision, I'd highly encourage you to make a decision either way by that deadline. Um, Not all competitive faculties require to be let know by the deadline. So if you have any questions about that, you can always contact the academic unit to see if it's a strict deadline or if there's a leeway with it. Excuse me. But you would want to know what major you're accepting for before you register for courses. Registration happens a little bit earlier for high school students coming in, but the classes do fill up, so you really do need to have your decision made prior to that date and time.
Awesome. What about for Newfoundland students? Are there any documents that they need to submit, and how would they go about doing that?
For general admission, we ask for the Power School ID number and we download the details from the Department of Education. I do highly encourage applicants to include this information on your application. Um, Otherwise, we won't be able to access your grades to date and your final grades when they are released. We also need to make sure that that is correct so we can process your application accordingly. For faculty programs, the documents are a little bit more different. Some require reference letters, some require mid-year grades, and that is mostly nursing. So that is additional grades that the applicant yourself would need to email to our office to add to your file for consideration as an additional requirement. Um, the music, as Mayor mentioned, requires an audition. It's important to get those documents in by the deadline for the program as well. But going back to general studies, we only need to make sure you have your Power School ID. If it's missing from the application or if there's an error, you will receive an email, and hopefully I will hear back from you very quickly and we can move your application through the process. But there isn't any other documents that are required for general admission.
Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to go through because we did have a couple more. Somebody was asking about online courses and the ability for students to do online courses and which campus they actually put on their application. Jennifer, do you have any comments about that?
You can't do online courses. Um, the campus that the course you're registering for, like all of our online courses have a home. So either they're based out of Grenfell or they're based out of St. John's. So the campus that you register for the online course, that's where your prof will mostly reside. Um, you can take online courses at either campus if you're a student at either campus, as long as they are applicable to the program that you're doing. Um, and I'm saying that specifically for the business program and some of the arts programs, I believe. Jennifer White might have more information about that. I seen another question there about taking the online course during the summer. Jennifer, did you see that one?
Yes. Yes, I did the very last one down there as well. So I
You want to address
do.
that later?
No, that's fine. We
Okay.
can move on to that one. That's great. 'Cause it's still in the same theme of online courses.
Yep.
And it is true that students should seek advice. If they do see a course that's offered at another campus, but it's authored by another campus online, please get some advice from your advisor in your degree program, because not all courses offered at one campus would be applicable to a degree program at another campus. So make sure you're getting good advice before doing that. But if you're doing a program like a Bachelor of Commerce program that's offered on the St. John's campus, that's what's on your application. And you can choose to then to do camp courses in class or on campus, depending on what suits your needs. So the other question then is, can a student complete an online course during the summer before they begin in September? And one of the things that's been offered over the past couple of years is a Kickstart program. So you may have heard of students that are doing courses online prior to the start of when they're officially admitted into the program, and that's done through Kickstart. So we have every indication that it will be offered again this year. It's offered specifically to first-year students to give them an introductory course. There are courses that are only available online, a small selection of courses that are suited for first-year students to do online, and all the information about that will come out from the university as those decisions are made about what courses will be offered. And it's both for students who are attending the St. John's campus or students that will be attending Grenfell. There's typically a couple of courses that they can choose. So but prior to that, you're admitted for for September, and you would have to wait until your final admission grades are available in July. So you wouldn't be able to register for anything outside of the Kickstart program. Okay, so I'm just checking the time. So we do still have some time left. So if there's any other questions, please don't forget just to put them in the chat or click through to open the Q&A to make sure that those questions
Some of the
do get submitted.
some of the questions I saw, Jennifer, is that how many students are in a class, when is one application is over, how many courses should be done in a semester.
And well, I guess those questions are sort of after admissions, but certainly questions that we do get asked quite often. Typically, students do 5 courses per semester. Some programs, would allow for a more flexible environment where you can do fewer courses, or for certain programs, when you're beyond first year, you would be allowed to do more courses per semester. But typically, it is 5 courses per semester, fall and winter, 10 courses a year. In total, you're required to do 40 courses for our degree programs. If you're only doing a course-based program, then you could be finished in 4 years. If you're doing a program that does have either optional or required co-op semesters, so work terms, then that would obviously take a little bit longer. We did have an interesting question about the about medical school, and unfortunately, we don't have any representatives or any sessions that are being held right now for students that are looking down the road to a medical degree or moving into medicine. But they asked about how long does it take before they can apply. Basically, the med school here in St. John's, you do have to complete an undergraduate degree prior to meeting the admission requirements for medical school, but they encourage students to go after those things that they're interested in, to complete degree programs that are of interest to them. We have students that do music or fine arts that move into med school, as well as we have obviously students that are very interested in moving into sciences in some way, the biohuman sciences or biology. Those certainly would be strong majors. It's really to play to your strength, but then also look at those other things that are going to make you eligible to not just grade wise to be accepted into medical school, but also what you're surrounding your degree by. So, get some good advice again, be in contact with the med school admissions throughout your degree, but you do need to finish that degree initially. Jen, maybe you can speak to the process, because we do have a question from someone that looking to apply into nursing, and they're asking, does admissions to the Center for Nursing Studies have the same process?
Very good question. And yes, it's the same process. When you're applying for the nursing program, you have the option of listing your top 3 campuses. I believe it's 3, maybe 4. And choosing that campus would be an option there. Um, and it is the same process as applying for any of the other campuses that I'm aware of.
We do actually have a session coming up on Thursday evening from the admissions for our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So that's a great opportunity to come and get some insights into that process as well. And because it is a competitive entry program that's offered at multiple sites, it's a great opportunity to ask them about the differences in those sites, and about the selection process as well. I did see someone asking about how long each course is. So, how many hours a week that those courses are offered. And I think that's one of the things, again, is very varied based on how you want to do your courses. Many high school students are quite surprised that they can choose how the course is delivered. We have a wide variety of courses, especially in first year, where you can typically choose how that course is how you attend that course each semester. So again, we mentioned about doing it online or doing it in person, but even in person, most courses are 3 hours a week, but you can choose it in 3 1-hour blocks, 3 days a week, 2 hour-and-a-half blocks, 2 days a week, or you can even choose evening courses where you go once a week. You're there for the 2.5 to 3 hours to complete the coursework for that week, and then that course is done. So if you have other commitments throughout the day, having that flexibility in your schedule. But like Jennifer also mentioned earlier, be sure to register early. If you're someone that needs to design a schedule around other commitments that you have, make sure that as soon as you're provided that registration window or that registration application time, register early and the most options will be available to you. We see, unfortunately, some students that don't jump on that really early. Maybe they wait a few days or a few weeks, and then they're trying to register, and then not the same options are available because those classes are getting filled. So register early, register early. I can't say it often enough.
Jennifer,
For your courses.
There's a question they're asking, when is the MON application is over?
So with Jen, maybe you can go through that depending on the deadline dates
Semester.
that you see. Yeah.
Uh,
And we'll assume it's for the fall semester at this point because most of
Yeah.
the attendees did indicate they were having a fall start.
Perfect. The application for Newfoundland high school applicants, we do accept applications up until like the end of the first day of classes. Um, we don't recommend that you wait that long to apply because it does take time for your application to get processed. It does take time to get your application into people's queues and for a decision. So if you're waiting till the very last day to apply, it's likely that you won't receive a decision or a decision letter until later in the first week of class. So you may miss the first class or two before you get set up. As well, applying late may leave the option, as Jennifer mentioned, of not being able to get the class that you want. So applying early is at your biggest benefit. Getting your documents in or anything that we need, again, is again at your best benefit. It will benefit you greatly if we can get everything to you in time to register in time to get you set up, let you plan for your schedule. Doing last minute applying for programs isn't, it's a very stressful process for everybody involved, just to be like very straight. Um, so you have until that time, but the deadline for the fall semester is the one that we would really abide by if we're recommending to apply. And that means that the application closes August 13th for anybody who has documents required for general admission. So, as a general loose deadline, I would go by August 13th. I wouldn't apply much after that, but the application is still open and you can still apply and you can still get classes. If you register for one course, you will still get a time for winter semester. And that's great for those who aren't really sure what they want to do yet, or if they want to go through the application process yet. It gives you a little bit more time to kind of figure it out as long as you're not dead set on taking a certain course that may not be available.
Yeah. And certainly, as was mentioned earlier, the very strict deadlines for some of our competitive entry programs, and certainly I should have emphasized when I was talking about the entrance scholarships, that students that are interested in becoming, considered for entrance scholarships, it is that March 1st deadline that we go by for those entrance scholarships. And also anyone that's looking to apply also to live on campus in student residences. It's really to your advantage to apply early because you do need to go through your academic application first and be provided an early acceptance in order to then move through with submitting an application to student residences. And if you're very particular about the space in residence that you have, the earlier you apply, the more likelihood that you'll get the style of residence that you're looking for, even though student residences does guarantee housing for all students coming from high school. They guarantee a bed in housing, but if you're particular around the style of housing that you're looking for, it is good to apply as early as possible. So, and there's lots of help with that, not just like attending a session like this, but also we will be doing some application walkthrough sessions and certainly getting connected with a recruitment officer or contacting us at any point in time at admissions@mon.ca. We really encourage that to answer any questions you have and make sure you can move through that really smoothly. There was a question that was specific to HKR and the HKR co-op program. So I would really encourage you to go to attend that session that's happening tomorrow evening. I believe, yeah, I think it's tomorrow. It is tomorrow evening to attend the Human Kinetics and Recreation session. But I will just say someone had asked about finding your own work term placements. No, you do get lots of support in finding those work term placements. They have employers that are interested in having work term students with them, but it's a great question to pose to our to Penny Lynn White, who's going to be there from the Human Kinetics program, and she's even going to have some students with her who are work term students, and you can find out a lot more about that program there as well.
And there was also another question regarding if they take a course and they don't like, we have a window of withdrawal, right? Maybe you can
Yes,
speak about
that's
that.
correct. So you do have to pay close attention to the university diary, which is available well in advance of the semester, and you can find it online in multiple places. And that diary will tell you the deadline date. So if you start a course in the fall, and then you find it's not to your liking, maybe it's not required for your program, or you know, I would always recommend get really good advice before dropping your courses to really so that you know the impacts. If it is a required course or an elective that you're picking up, get good advice before dropping. But you do have 2 weeks into the semester to get a 100% refund, and even further into the semester, so it's not working against you on your university transcript. But all those deadline dates are clearly posted and advertised to all incoming students, so you get familiar with that process for sure.
Some courses are, oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
On that note too, some courses are prerequisites for the next one. So if you're taking
Yes.
a course in the fall and it's not exactly what you want to take, but you need to take it to take the next course that you want to take in winter, it's important, as Jennifer mentioned, to speak to an academic advisor because you don't want to be in a position where you can't take the next course that you want to take.
Yeah. And if it's in a program of study that is, some of our programs of study, especially with our competitive entry programs, are very strict as to when that course can be done as part of your program. So again, seek advice from your department, whether it's you've moved into engineering or nursing, seek advice before you go and drop a course, because in a moment of stress, you may make a decision that you'll regret later. So give yourself that time to, talk with someone face to face. People are always available to speak with students, whether it's the academic advising center or an advisor in your department, just to see the repercussions of that down the road. So you're really making a well-informed decision. Someone had asked about the deadline for the Center for Nursing Studies, and whether it's the same as the Faculty of Nursing. And Jennifer, you're nodding your head. The application to the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, regardless of the location you're going to be doing that program, the deadline is the same. Okay, so we do have a couple of minutes remaining. So if there's any last minute questions, please pop them in. But what I'll do is just go to Jennifer and Mahar to provide us with any last minute pieces of advice, maybe things that we haven't covered. Sometimes it's very difficult to get to all the questions, but also you hear questions all the time. So what are some of the questions that you hear that maybe we can get ahead of as well? Jennifer, is there any last words of advice you'd like to give?
I seen a question there regarding the CPT exam.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you addressed that.
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
perfect. That's the calculus placement exam that's offered, I believe, through the math department, and it is not used for admission purposes, unfortunately. We use academic math and we use advanced math for evaluating the admission criteria and that overall 70% average. Um, General questions that I get, I think we've already covered regarding being slightly below the minimum 70%. Um, Additional options that are there that I didn't mention would be doing another semester or another upgrading course at the high school. Some high schools do offer that. Or I'm not sure if the schools do rereads for the final exams. I've seen some grades change. As well, I'd recommend keeping a very close eye to transcripts. Sometimes there are keying errors. We are all human, trying to do our best, but sometimes there are keying errors or updated grades after our decision goes out. So if that happens, just let us know and we will absolutely relook at your application and your transcript and try to provide you with the best information that we can.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Jennifer. We did have another question come in. And again, this is something you can bring to our Bachelor of Science session that's happening tomorrow evening with our senior advisor within our Bachelor of Science program. But they're asking about doing a major in a science and doing a minor in a humanities and social sciences. You can absolutely do that. Doing a Bachelor of Science with a minor in humanities or something in humanities or social sciences is definitely an option. But you also mentioned about a joint degree. That's also an option. And you can decide that after you're doing your coursework. We really recommend to students to take it step by step and look at, what they ultimately want to receive, but then also know that you can make those changes along the way. So you don't need to have that decision made during your application process. You can make those decisions and declare those majors and minors and joint programs further into, after your first year of study and so on. Mahar, do you have any final words of advice or just information that you'd like to hand on to some of our Newfoundland applicants right now? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry for that. As I was saying, as you mentioned, apply. The sooner you apply, the better, because it gives you more time to make more decisions. More information is on the website. If there's anything that is not clear to you, you can direct them to our admission@mon.ca, and we are more than happy to provide you with any questions you have. But again, the sooner you apply, the better. The application fee is not that great. It's just 60 Canadian. So the sooner you apply, you get that admission. If you're applying for the competitive major and you want to get a seat on the table, apply again sooner so that you get accepted and don't wait till last minute.
Excellent. Thank you so much for both of you for joining this evening and providing this great information to our students. We do have another session coming up in just a few minutes, so we'll clue up our application information session. Thank Mahar and Jennifer for joining us and providing this information. You will be able to use the link that appears in the chat to go back to the landing page for the event and then choose the room that you may want to stay in based on the campus. So we have our 3 campuses outside of St. John's who are going to be presenting in the next hour of the evening. So just a few minutes, we'll have the Labrador campus who's going to be presenting in this room, room 1. But we also have campus sessions for in room 2, the Marine Institute, and room 3, our colleagues from the Grenfell campus will be presenting on their programs as well. So if you need to hop out, please use the link provided and you can go back to our landing page and then move into the room that's best suited to you for the next hour. But if you're choosing to finish up today and oops, sorry, we put something in the chat that shouldn't be there. If you were choosing to finish up today, please don't forget about tomorrow and Thursday evening and the great opportunities that are there to connect with our academic units as well. Okay, thanks very much. We'll be right back with the Labrador campus in a couple of minutes.